Good afternoon. So I'm a data scientist and mathematician by training, so I know very well how reliable are technologies, so I have only one slide. I will raise your hands if you ever communicated with chatbot of some customer service, like phone operator. Okay, some. And of those who were happy with the outcome, right? So we communicate with them and they ask your name and they are extremely polite, but they rarely resolve your problem, right? So actually this happens not only to all the kind of type of chatbots, but also to ChatGPT. There were recently examples when people were trying to resolve some problem and ChatGPT would, or other large language model, they go into circles trying to be more polite, more emotional, but effectively they don't resolve the issue. So what is the difference between thinking of a human and thinking of a computer software? Actually, I'm thinking about this all the time because I'm practicing AI. And when I get some outputs, I have to understand and analyze the result to interpret it because it's essential for my work. When human brain is approaching the problem and when ChatGPT or any software, AI software is approaching the problem, the solution can be the same, but what program is doing, it is kind of doing all kinds of combinatorics because computational capacity is enormous. All combinations like trying to figure out new combinations of chemicals, it will go at enormous lengths to understand all possible combinations. Humans, after trying 100 times, they will get bored, they will lose focus, they will start making mistakes, so it's impossible for us to think in the same way as computer software. But the result can be equivalent. It can be a discovery, right? So human brain is doing it as a quantum leap by sudden association, by previous memories. And what is extremely amazing is that energy consumption is very low. So it is estimated that energy that's required for human brain is about a light bulb. So this is the power, kind of 50 watt. And you can think about something, maybe 3 hours, and this is your outcome, you created something new. And computer will do it probably for several days, fully connected with multiple CPUs, GPUs, and consumption will not be that optimized because obviously they didn't go through thousands of years of evolution. The output is the same, but the question is whether our AI is actually intelligent. So when you are asking something from AI, what it is doing by construction is trying to find most from all the trained data that it grabbed from internet, from some databases. It tries to derive continuation of some sentence from its trained data, which is most probable. So very often when you read the output of AI text, it's kind of like average, right? Like something that you would expect to be written multiple times before. That's what they are doing. They are doing most probable derivation of very large training data. Human is trying to be creative. Human is trying to create something original that never existed before. So the difference between AI and the human thinking is motivation. So when you're trying to create something new as a human, you're motivated. Maybe you want to be a famous musician. Maybe you want to get very nice dinner, right? Maybe you want to find a very nice partner because they will be impressed with how smart you are. Computer, as you can imagine, they're not interested in that. They are written in such a way, I call it conditioning. When you write software, you say, if this, then that. So some software programmer who was actually writing the software, they have to put number of conditions to proceed with calculations or derivations. So when this condition is somehow wrong, it may happen that your output will be biased. Actually, it happened already to some experimental AI solutions when people trained on any internet data, there was Microsoft solution that was abandoned some years ago. They trained on any input data, and their output was racist, Nazi, whatever, because there was no conditioning. They didn't say, don't do this. If this happened, don't do this. So now people are learning because it's still infancy technology, and people are adding some anti-bias measures. They're adding some some restrictions. They're conditioning the software, but software is still without motivation. It's tasked to answer your question in a certain way with certain constraints. It will never decide to be a great musician or a great writer. It may perform very well, but it is following instruction of the software developer. So I would say that myth of taking over the world by AI is a real myth. And we should really believe that it is very unlikely that software itself will decide, okay, I'm taking all energy and you human will be disposed. No, it's unlikely. Unless some programmer, human, will have motivation to do it and he will write something like this. So it's not AI who is inventing this kind of evil idea. The real problem with AI at the moment is that because it's still kind of wild west in this area, direction in which it's developing may be not always optimal or very useful. When it is inventing new chemicals, it's wonderful. But when it starts writing poetry, if you look at this example, this is quotation from a writer who said that I would like to prefer AI to do my laundry rather than my writing. I think that this is a very important quotation because it says that this is probably not the right direction for AI to develop. Let it automate for us everything. Let it help us to be more comfortable, to focus on more important areas and to do something useful. And yet another real challenge with AI is that, as I said, it takes much more energy. So right now we're already reaching a stage when we spend almost 7–10% of our energy for data centers and AI. And this grows because people want bigger models. People want, it's already at the stage that large corporations, they have the dedicated power stations because they need CPUs and GPUs, and they may take one unit. GPU may take 1 kilowatt of energy, like kettle. You switch it on and run it for 3 days. You get your monthly energy consumption in a flood. So it is something that we have to address rightly and help it develop into meaningful assistant for us as humans who still can be creative and delegate all the boring, tedious tasks or those that are in harsh environment to AI. So my conclusion, there are real myths about AI. You should not be scared about it, unless there is evil person behind it, really evil person who wants to take over the world, but not AI itself. And we have to be careful about what resources AI is taking and how it helps us, developing it in the right, useful direction for us. Thank you.